My best friend set me up on a blind date. He ruined my little sister's life. My best friend Tessa had been begging me to get back out there for months. She grabbed my hands and looked me in the eyes and said, "Just trust me on this one. He's perfect for you." The restaurant was quiet when I got there, and I picked a table near the window and waited. A man walked in and scanned the room until his eyes landed on mine. He smiled and walked over and pulled out the chair across from me and said, "You must be Ren." The sound of his voice hit me like a truck. I sat in a courtroom and listened to that exact voice apologize to my sobbing mother for driving drunk and putting my baby sister in a wheelchair. I couldn't move. He was sitting across from me talking about the menu and asking what kind of wine I liked, and I just kept staring at his mouth trying to convince myself I was wrong, but I wasn't wrong. I watched this man get sentenced. I watched the bailiff take him away in handcuffs while my mother collapsed in my father's arms. He flagged down the waiter and ordered the most expensive bottle without asking me, and winked and said, "I've got good taste, trust me." I needed to know if this was real, so I asked him where he went to college. He told me the name and said he took a few years off after for personal reasons, but got his life back on track. A few years off. That was when he was in prison. I asked what happened during those years, and he leaned back and swirled his glass and said, "I went through something rough, but honestly, it made me who I am today, and I wouldn't change a thing." I asked what he meant, and he shrugged and said, "I made a mistake and someone got hurt, but I did my time, and I've completely forgiven myself. Life's too short to carry guilt around, you know? My sister will never walk again, and this man sipping wine across from me wouldn't change a thing." I forced a smile and said, "Everyone deserves a second chance." He pointed at me and grinned and said, "See, that's what I told Tessa. I said most people judge, but she promised me you weren't like that." I felt my fingers go cold. I asked what else Tessa told him about me. He said, "Just that you've had a hard few years because of some family stuff. She said your sister got hurt pretty bad in an accident and you've been taking care of her." My heart was pounding. I asked if Tessa told him what kind of accident. He paused for a second and then said, "A car accident, I think." She didn't go into details, but honestly, I'm just glad you're finally putting yourself out there again. I stared at him and watched him take another sip of wine completely unbothered. Tessa told him my sister was in a car accident and he still didn't flinch. I told him I had a great time, but I had to get going, and I walked out of that restaurant and drove straight to her apartment. Tessa swings open the door grinning and says, "That was fast. Tell me everything." I walk past her into the apartment and turn around and ask her if she knows who that man is. She tilts her head and says, "What do you mean? He's a great guy. I've been telling you about him for weeks." I ask her if she knows what he did. Her face shifts and she crosses her arms and says, "People make mistakes." I feel the air leave my lungs. I ask her if she knows he's the one who hit my sister, and I watch her expression and she doesn't even blink. I ask her how long she's been with him. She whispers, "It doesn't matter because he's changed." I ask again louder. She explodes and screams, "A year, okay. We've been together for a year and I'm so sick of hiding because of you." Her voice is shaking and spit is flying from her mouth and she shouts, "You don't get to be mad at me. I've spent 12 years walking on eggshells around you and your family and I'm done. I deserve to be happy." I tell her she knew exactly who he was when she set this up. She laughs bitterly and says, "Of course I knew. And you know what? He's a better person than you'll ever be because at least he's moved on with his life instead of making everyone around him miserable." I stare at her and realize I never knew her at all. I turn and walk toward the door and she lunges and grabs my wrist hard and begs, "Please don't tell your sister. If you ruin this for me, I'll never forgive you." I rip my arm away and say, "You already ruined it," and slam the door behind me. I told my sister everything that night. She cried but thanked me for telling her. Tessa always said she just wanted me to be happy.